Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 24. Hi, neighbor. I would like to welcome you to another unplugged episode of Anchors of Encouragement. My name is Tim Maudlin, husband, adoptive parent, disciple of Christ, and ambassador of encouragement. Today I want to continue our series where I'm laying the foundation for my words this coming year. I've been giving you breadcrumbs to a word jumble. As a recap to the words we've already considered, in episode 167, we looked at the letter A, which stood for affirmations. In episode 168, we considered the letter T, which stood for 2 and 3. There was a phrase that went with this that I want to share as well. 2 are better than 1, but 3 is even better. Then in episode 169, we looked at the letter R, which stood for regulate. And finally, in episode 170, the letter P stood for principles. Today we want to look at the letter C. It stands for comments. Comments that we can make to individuals, whether we know them or not. I want to circle back to the quote I began this episode with from Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 24. Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the words that we said to others and the words that were said to us were like honey? While we can't control what other people say to us, we can control what we say to other people. When we say kind words to them, they are like honey. I want to share a couple of stories with you to illustrate this concept and how I've put this principle into play. The first story happened several years ago. I was on my lunch break from work and I went to a restaurant to get something to eat. As I was in line to get my drink, I noticed this woman in front of me. She was an elderly woman, and the thing that caught my attention was the color of her hair. She had the prettiest gray hair. It was almost silver. It reminded me of my mom's hair. Mom had the prettiest gray hair too. I thought for a second, do I say something or not? But I went ahead and said this to the woman. I said, "You have the prettiest gray hair. It reminds me of my mom." Well, the reaction I got was priceless. She got the biggest smile on her face, almost started giggling, and thanked me. And that was the end of the conversation. But I could tell that my words had been like honey to her. Well, the second story happened a few weeks ago. It's similar in that I was at a conference this time at lunchtime, and the organizers had prepared a buffet for us. I was in line to get my food like the rest of the participants, and I noticed an elderly woman in front of me. Just like the woman several years before, this woman had the most beautiful gray hair. I remembered that conversation I had earlier, and I decided to say something to this woman too. I said, "You have the prettiest gray hair. It reminds me of my mom." Well, her reaction was similar. She got the biggest smile on her face. And I went ahead and told her, I said, "My mom's been gone for almost 3 years. And seeing you here today and seeing the color of your hair reminds me of her." And we had a really good conversation about memories. I could tell that my words were like honey to her, and the things that she was able to talk to me about and say to me about memories were like honey to me. And it boosted my soul. It was healthy for my body that day. Those are two simple examples of how the words we say, the words we choose to say, can be like honey to other people. These were short conversations. They were just compliments that I chose to give to other people. The reactions, again, were just priceless. Let's get to the daily doable and see how to make some further applications of this concept. There's another verse from the book of Proverbs I want to draw your attention to, this time in chapter 25 and verse 11. A word spoken at the right time is like gold apples in silver settings. Visualize that word picture. A word spoken at the right time is like gold apples in silver settings. It's priceless. So for the daily doable, I want you to consider the comments you make to other people. Specifically, I want to talk to you who know adoptive parents. Adoptive parents could use some good comments. They could use kind words. Tell them they're doing a good job. Those words will be like honey to them, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. If you're an adoptive parent listening today, I want to tell you you're doing a good job. I know the challenges that you face. I understand. Keep on keeping on. You're doing a good job. Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. That's all for this episode. I want to thank you for joining me. I'll be back in our next episode to continue with another idea in this word jumble to help illustrate the concepts and ideas behind my words for the year. Before I go, I would like to extend an invitation for you to become a member of our Facebook community. There you can receive kind words, words that are like honey, words that will build you up and encourage you in your adoption journey. I hope you'll consider joining me. Please see the show notes for the link. Until next time, this is Tim encouraging you to do what you can now.